We have started to record the first session of SPCH 1113, Introduction to Public Speaking, for the first summer session of 2022. Welcome. These 19 class sessions over the next month are going to go by very fast. Today is Tuesday, May 24th, 2022. I'd indicated for those of you who are joining me live to please don't ask a question during class, or make sure that your microphones are muted, primarily because so many people are going to be watching the videos afterwards. There's a lot of material that we're going to be covering over the first two class sessions, which are Course Requirements Part 1, which is today, and Course Requirements Part 2, which is tomorrow. For all of you, this is going to be a unique experience giving presentations by video for a public speaking course. And as the week goes on, I'll explain how you're going to be sending those to me. But for today and for tomorrow, sit back, relax, pay attention to the way that I want you to structure your presentations. Blackboard, my YouTube channel, and my website are going to be your best friends in that order. In a couple of minutes, I'll be going to my Blackboard version of this course in the student preview mode. So taking it step by step, how all of you are going to approach being a thoughtful, well-researched, extemporaneous, conversational public speaker. And it can be done. Ordinarily, this might be in a face-to-face class, but because most of you every day are doing material via social media, whether it is on Instagram, whether you're doing something on TikTok, FaceTime, any other social media platform, most of you are going to feel really comfortable because of your ages, growing up with this, being on camera. And now it's a matter of being more formal in the structure of your presentations, the quality of the visuals, and how you can have a nice blending of the two, the quality of the visuals and the qualities of your personalities, respectively, as we go through the next 5 weeks. So what I want to do first of all is to show all of you what it looks like in Blackboard when you first access the course. It is in the student preview mode, and that's what you're going to see when you access the course. Let me click on Introduction to Public Speaking in just a moment, but when you're here, the first thing that all of you should do is to click on the message, and I will repeat, quoting from me now, SPCH 1113, Introduction to Public Speaking, live on Blackboard, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, from noon until 2 p.m. Usually we're going to go a little bit later on days when there are graded presentations. We're not going to start those until Thursday of next week, so you've got plenty of time to prepare. Enter a course to attend live. Go to course syllabus, click on room to enter. Please mute your microphones and leave them off unless otherwise specified. You may enter up to 15 minutes before the start time. It is not a requirement to attend live. We are here to provide assistance and answer questions. View all recorded archives at your convenience for research purposes and complete your assignments on time. Thanks. View recorded archives of this course. Find Tools on your menu, left side, and click Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. Then click 3 vertical white lines on the black sessions bar to open a recordings playlist. What I will be doing every day is to make certain that this announcement is refreshed, because if I don't, whenever you go into the student preview mode, the message goes away. So I will always make certain that the first thing that you see is this, to make it as user-friendly as possible. Because as I indicated, there are right now 17 people in the course. Most people are going to be watching the course videos and submitting their assignments to my Yahoo email address, which I'll get to both today and tomorrow. So if you ever want to watch videos of the course, come over to Tools, find Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. Notice the way that it is set up right now. Because we are recording this class session live, there are no videos available. But what all of you do is if you want to join a class live like today, you click on this and you enter the room. I've got the first 2 weeks of class set up. And I'll mention this more than once today, guys. We are going to meet 4 days next week: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, to make up for not meeting on Monday of next week due to Memorial Day. So we will meet on Friday of next week. Click on those 3 vertical lines, go to recordings, and eventually in this space, even though right now it's blank, there will be listings of courses. And during days when your graded presentations are due, within the context of a course session, I am going to take the materials that you provide for me, the 4 graded speeches: demonstrative, informative, persuasive, and wildcard, and play those within the context of recorded class sessions, so everyone can see in real time the progress that you're making. So again, you click on recordings, and eventually they'll be here. Whenever I start class tomorrow, you'll notice, because I'll probably play a little bit of it with the audio down. Let's go back again to the syllabus and see what you're going to be looking at when you access the course. The home page, of course, you've already seen. Now let's make that bigger. Instructor information. Here is a link to the SAU Mass Communication website. I am an associate professor of mass communication. I am the director of mass media at SAU, so I feel very comfortable doing this stuff offline and online, because I think it's really important for all of you to understand the relevance of social media, mass communication in today's world, and how in this course, the ability to be a quality public speaker ties into all of that, because many of you are going to be conducting job interviews through some type of social platform, whether it be on Zoom or something else. And there is my very large, very prominent business card. But realistically, if you've got any questions, you can access my Yahoo email address, which we'll get to shortly. Now let's move down to course syllabus. When you access this, you'll notice there are 4 different areas that you can go. This is the syllabus. This is the course itinerary. This is a checklist, which is unofficial for this course, the SAU speech evaluation form. And this is the room that you enter to join the class live, keeping also in mind that whenever you first enter the course, this is the information that you are going to see to access Blackboard Collaborate Ultra videos. Back to the syllabus. Here is where Blackboard is so helpful. The syllabus opens up in 4 different pages, because the syllabus is 4 pages. Don't let that freak you out, guys. A lot of material that you find on a college syllabus today is mandated by the state or mandated by the institution itself. But it's important that you know everything that's going to be required of you in a basic public speaking course. At the top, you can see, and I will leave it there for the time being, so you can see the upper reaches of Blackboard, this material in here. It is a 100% online course. There is my email address, but you're going to primarily be communicating with me through my Yahoo address. Office hours and location: virtual 12 to 2, live every day here, which will be our class sessions. And then live on Blackboard, provide assistance and answer questions outside of class. So a lot of the stuff that you see here as we traverse down to page 2 is required information that effective communication, critical thinking, information literacy are part of the university learning goals that are important for you to learn. The program learning goals are specific to our mass communication program. As I indicated, I run the mass media program and have been at SAU for a number of years. Course description. Principles of effective speaking, continuing the quote now, emphasis on both transmission and reception of the communicative process, the speaking mechanism, and delivery. Now, in terms of course learning goals and objectives, what will students be able to do? Some type of active verb with ideally a measurable outcome. You learn the value and effectiveness of communication. Give and accept criticism. Establish confidence in one's convictions and practice clear, concise, oral communication. Let me repeat that. Whenever we're looking at learning goals and objectives of courses, it's important to always consider action verbs with measurable outcomes. Learn the value and effectiveness of communication. Give and accept criticism. Establish confidence in one's convictions and practice clear, concise oral communication. This book is not required for a course. So everything that you do is going to be available from my YouTube channel, from videos that you watch, and from the own materials that you provide for graded projects. That followed by grading policies and procedures with the class attendance policy and excused absences of students. I should mention, I can check in Blackboard when everyone is accessing the course because that's going to be part of your class participation grade. Please make certain that you are accessing Blackboard on a regular basis to watch the videos because that is going to be 10 points out of the 100 for the course. In terms of the grading policies, proper time management is essential to success in researching and writing course assignments. Please make certain that you understand that with a class being roughly about 17 people, all of you are going to be giving presentations on the same day, whether it be on day 1 or day 2. In this case, for the demonstrative speeches, it will be Thursday and Friday of next week. And then we move to the regular Monday through Thursday rotation, Monday through Thursday, where day 1 would always be giving their presentations on a Wednesday, and day 2 would always be giving their presentations on a Thursday. That's why you've got more than enough time to prepare for your first batches of graded speeches, which again start on Thursday of next week. Then we continue to move on past the academic integrity policy to supplemental information. Southern Arkansas University at the beginning of 2022 went to a more standardized form of syllabus construction. So everything that you have just seen, with slight variations depending upon the instructor, are institutionally or state mandated. Supplemental information, this information on down, is going to be specific to this course. So the digital imprint, the instructor website, keeping in mind that everything that we do in the mass communication curriculum with the mass media emphasis is going to be posted on my website. When you click to the bottom of my website, you are going to find information that is relatable to SPCH 1113, Introduction to Public Speaking, and SPCH 3123, Advanced Public Speaking, which I always offer in addition to my mass communication and mass media courses every spring semester. So in this case, the next time I offer the class would be in the spring of 2023. This is what's important. Please make certain that you pay attention to this. That is my Yahoo address. Right there, where I have the cursor. I don't know if you can see the cursor on your particular output, but electronic submission of assignments, Prof. James Reppert, SAU@yahoo.com. That is where you send the links to your graded speeches. You'll be doing it either on YouTube or doing it on Loom. Again, don't worry about any graded projects today because day 1 today for course requirements and day 2 tomorrow, course requirements part 2, we're basically going through the nuts and the bolts of class. Instructor comments. There is no magic formula for academic success in this or any college course. Intellectual curiosity matters. Not being satisfied with mediocrity means taking additional time to rewrite or analytically hone assignments. However, that is only the beginning. Expanding one's knowledge of the subject matter in any field is a lifelong process. Extensive interactive links for assignments can enhance such dynamism. Limitless research possibilities allow each student to pursue their academic potential. This type of work ethic is more conducive to long-term professional achievement. Now, the topics are going to be items that we will be addressing, but let me reinforce the electronic submission of assignments and the Yahoo address. Most of the time, when people have a question, it is going to go to my Yahoo email address. Projects will also go there. I may show you that today. I may show you that tomorrow. We'll see. Some of the topics include being a quality impromptu speaker, extemporaneous, conversational. Extemporaneous is basically what I am doing now and what you're going to be doing with notes. I'm being an extemporaneous speaker right now because I'm using the notes online from Blackboard as a template for the remarks that I'm giving during the term. Conversational is the same thing. You don't want to read something directly off a sheet of paper. That's going to be conversational. That's not what I want either. Eye contact, vocalics, grammar, articulation, enunciation, all of those things we will be looking at in due time. Multimedia design is very important. We'll be getting to that in just a moment for your research and your visual aids. Constructive criticism of peers is important, but I also think knowing how you look, knowing how you sound, knowing how you appear on camera for an online public speaking course is of prime importance to your long-term abilities as a quality, well-researched communicator. And that's what we're going to be focusing on in just a moment. Scrolling down, we will eventually get to projects. Here are the student assignments. Responsibilities include various modes of public speaking research, writing, and delivery. 4 speeches, 1 a week starting next week. Speech critique, which is a self-evaluation speech critique. Class participation. All graded speech outlines, whether they be prepared on Microsoft PowerPoint, Google Slides, or Canva. 6 slides minimum are submitted by email for possible online posting. The speech critique, which is prepared in Microsoft Word, is also submitted by email. Graded speech videos are submitted through a format of the student's choice, whether it be on Loom or whether it be on YouTube. Now let's continue to scroll through to the bottom of the syllabus, and I will take a sneak peek so you can see exactly what I am looking at. The Summer 1 total for 2022 is 100 points. Now, here's what's sneaky, guys. Take a close look at the self-evaluation speech critique. Worth 10 points, but it's the last day of class. Thursday, June 23rd. Less than 1 month from today. The 19 class sessions go by very quickly. This week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday only. The only Friday we'll meet during the summer. And then for the final 3 weeks, it is the regular rotation of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So please make certain you're watching all the videos in their totality so you can learn in real time. That's going to help you tremendously during the summer session. So let's take a look at the projects. The demonstrative speech is worth 20 points. It begins on Thursday, June 2nd. Microsoft PowerPoint, Google Slides, or Canva. 6 slides minimum, internet materials, online videos, length 5 to 7 minutes. Now we'll be showing you at least a couple of speeches later on today. In real time, it is 12:27. My guess is I'm going to go until about 1:15. Most of my classes will technically be over an hour. Sometimes they will reach that benchmark of 2 p.m., but we'll play it by ear. Realistically, that would occur on days when graded presentations are given, which are 8 of the 19 class sessions. The informative speech, you'll notice, begins one day earlier. So the demonstrative speech is Thursday and Friday of next week. The informative speech, also 20 points, is Wednesday and Thursday of the following week, also 20 points. The persuasive speech, 20 points on the 15th and 16th. The wild card speech is going to be the last 2 days of the course, which, as you can see, are the 22nd and also on the 23rd. Then we get to the self-evaluation speech critique, which is due on the last day of class to my Yahoo email address, a realistic appraisal of personal improvement during the course with content, delivery, and visuals. Class participation is 10 points, an individual effort to forward trenchant analyses of course issues and assist peers with constructive criticism of assignments. In other words, even though that self-evaluation speech critique is going to primarily be looking at yourself, if you want to sneak in a couple of sentences looking at the improvement of your classmates during the month in terms of content or delivery or visuals, that's certainly appropriate. You don't have to write a book. A couple of paragraphs will suffice. For all of the projects that you're looking at here, I will give you more than enough examples in real time on video for you to watch, to analyze, to interpret, and to act upon when the days come for particular projects. Now, let's move on to the second area of the course syllabus, which is the itinerary. Again, notice this is in the student preview mode on Blackboard, which is why you see the gold bar. So I am doing it exactly the same way that you would when you access the course. Here's the itinerary. Let's focus on the first 2 weeks. Today, course requirements part 1. Tomorrow, course requirements part 2. On Thursday, effective content, delivery, and visuals. That brings us to Tuesday of next week. Now, the reason I've got Tuesday marked is because Memorial Day, we will not meet. So it's Tuesday through Friday. As you can see, we've got research and delivery of speeches for each of the following 4 weeks of the course. Research for the demonstrative speech on Tuesday, topic selection for the demonstrative speech on Wednesday, and I'll talk more about that as the time comes, and then day 1 for demonstrative speech and day 2. I don't, on the syllabus yet, have an official listing of students and the days in which they are going to perform their presentations and send me their videos, primarily because we don't have an official roster. As of last night, as I've told you already on a minimum of 2 separate occasions, there are 17 people in the course. The way that I break it down is alphabetically. The first half of the course, 1 through 8, 1 through 9, will always be going on day 1. Everyone else will always be going on day 2. In that way, everyone has exactly the same amount of preparation for presentations during the semester, meaning that if you're in the early part of the alphabet, you can pretty much take it for granted that your presentations, demonstrative, informative, persuasive, wild card, would always be on day 1. I think it's vital that all of you have some type of notion early on as to time management so you can build up to the presentations. I'm not the kind of person as a professor that gives you busy work. I want you to focus on 4 major projects week by week, thinking about how you want to prepare your content, thinking about how you want to prepare your research and visuals and how you're going to prepare the delivery. Because the video that you eventually bring to me is not going to be the first draft. It's probably going to be the third, fourth, or fifth version. In other words, the best version of the speech is what everyone is going to see in class, as it should be. So that's the itinerary. Coming back to course requirements part 2 tomorrow, effective content, delivery, and visuals on Thursday. So in the course syllabus area, we have looked at the syllabus itself, 4 pages, and under the syllabus area, we have looked at the course itinerary, which brings us to the third area of the syllabus, which during the summer will be unofficial. It is a checklist for all of you to examine in terms of your overall improvement during the course in 3 areas: content, delivery, and visuals. So think about this for just a moment. We'll go into detail on this on Thursday. But the content for your presentation is going to be broken down in my class into these categories: content for organization, introduction, main and supporting points, topic research, fairness, topic analysis, and conclusion. The specific areas we'll dive into later. For delivery, your extemporaneous quality, conversational style, eye contact, articulation and enunciation, vocal variety, nonverbal cues, and persona. For the visuals of your speech, there's going to be design consistency, font size, color, and shading, spelling, grammar, and syntax, text and image balance, interactivity, storytelling ability, and aesthetic appeal. All of those items are very important, but during a summer class, it is going to be an informal checklist to make certain that you are following them to as great a degree as possible. And also keep in mind that at the course syllabus, if you are joining us live, you enter the room in that perspective. When you're at Tools, as I showed you previously, Blackboard Collaborate Ultra will be the place where you access all of the recordings. Go to the bars on top, find the menu, click on recordings, and usually within about an hour or so, usually no later than 3 p.m. on our 19 course days, is when you're going to find access to information with video recordings in this window. I'll probably have them categorized from session 1 through session 19. That brings us back to the beginning of the course. And now I'm going to come back to me, because I think what's very important for all of you to realize is that time management element that I talked about before, in addition to being a conversational, extemporaneous speaker. Now, what do I mean by being extemporaneous? I mentioned it a few minutes ago. You want to have a symbiotic relationship between the slides that you put together and your ability, when you look at them, to remain extemporaneous and conversational. You don't want to read to me during the term. It is very interesting, the topic that I am going to be discussing today. You can't do that. You want to make certain that your personality comes through. And again, keep in mind, all of the courses that I teach at Southern Arkansas University are related to mass communication, mass media, public speaking. So I feel very comfortable being in front of a camera because I've been involved in radio since I was 15 in high school. The first element of anything that I did on television was when I was 18. And when I was in graduate school at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, I was one of the coaches of the debate team. And we had a great deal of success in those 2 years of competition when I was in graduate school. We won a national award for being the top ranked first-year debate program in the country and won more than 150 awards in debate and individual events. So when it comes to being an effective public speaker or how you can present yourself on camera, I feel I am uniquely positioned to try to help all of you with my background in both mass communication, mass media, broadcast journalism, and public speaking. So with that, I told you that one of the areas that you can go for background data is my website, which is my mass communication website. Let me show you what that looks like. A link to this is available at the supplemental information area of the syllabus. This has been redesigned, but when you scroll to the bottom, that person looks vaguely familiar. I wonder who that is. But there is my digital imprint. Anything that's related to the mass communication program or my classes is available right here. And I'll go through at a deliberate pace, because when you play the videos back on Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, they don't look or sound exactly the same. And I've noticed that can be somewhat of a challenge, particularly when I'm playing your videos back, or I'm playing videos of other presentations, which I'm going to be doing shortly from previous versions of this class. But these are all of the courses that I teach in the mass communication curriculum in the mass media emphasis. But I'm doing this for a reason. When we get all the way down to the bottom, you are going to see representative examples, not everything, of what I do from both the basic public speaking course, which is what you're taking right now, and the advanced public speaking course, which, as I indicated previously, I teach every spring semester on campus face-to-face. And I've been doing that for the past 5 to 6 years. For your benefit, there is the public speaking window, and all the way down at the bottom is the advanced public speaking window. But let me leave it here for the time being. Let me make certain that I'm in exactly the right place. There we go. I go back and forth between what I see and what you're seeing in real time. And I'm also, whenever I'm looking at the monitor that you see, double checking to make sure that my audio is working and making sure that my microphone is on. Which is why on occasion, if I clear my throat, I intentionally do it without muting the microphone so I don't accidentally leave it off. Within this window, you can access and download the syllabus, just like you can on Blackboard, the checklist, course examples of speeches in the past. Those are links, by the way, to YouTube, the course itinerary, which we just looked at, and there is the course speech schedule, which I had set up for last summer. And I am going to tweak that before class tomorrow so everyone knows weeks in advance when their graded presentations are going to be delivered. But within the window at my website, which is available, again, on page 4 of the syllabus, representative examples of outlines from demonstrative speeches, demonstrative speech videos, informative speeches, informative speech videos, persuasive speeches, persuasive speech videos, and wildcard speeches and wildcard speech videos are all available to watch. Not everything that you do in this course is going to be posted on my website or on my YouTube channel, but representative examples will. And all the way down here at the bottom, you can see wildcard speech V, wildcard speech A. That would be a wildcard speech video, wildcard speech audio, because occasionally someone's webcam does not work and they have to do it by audio rather than video. So again, you've got tons and tons of different video examples, audio examples, and just outlines for the 4 major graded presentations you're going to be giving in this class. You also noted or probably saw group discussion information right here. I stopped doing group discussions because the more that I teach this course, the more that I feel it's important that each person has as much individual preparation and presentation for a class as possible. That's why now we have 4 different presentations. So this is the bottom of the website, and I slowly go back up to the top. And I wanted to show you a link to my YouTube channel, which is right here, because I will take representative examples of speeches and post them, demonstrative, informative, persuasive, and wildcard, on my YouTube channel. So let me now show you what my YouTube channel looks like and give you a couple of examples via YouTube of graded presentations that you'll be delivering over the next couple of weeks. And I should indicate here parenthetically that a lot of the class consists of playing videos of what your cohorts in semesters gone by have produced. Not only is watching and listening to yourself important, but how did students in previous classes perform the same types of projects that you're going to be doing now? Is there a measurable way that you can determine with your content, with your delivery, with your visuals, how you can improve? This is my YouTube channel. From this location, you can find all different kinds of materials. But for our benefit, let's go down to the playlist for broadcast and speech projects. I will again double check to make sure that you see what I do. I will now scroll all the way to the bottom. You see representative examples of speeches that were given in this class from the first summer session of 2021, spring 2021, fall intersession of 2020. Like the summer, it was 19 class sessions. It was during the month of December. Fall 2020, spring 2020, and first summer of 2020. Let's first of all examine different types of demonstrative speeches that are available in this playlist, because that's the first presentation that you're going to be involved with Thursday and Friday of next week. A demonstrative speech is some type of an activity where it is a how-to presentation. So let's take a look, first of all, with 2020. The reason that we started with informative is the pandemic hit in mid-March of 2020, and we immediately had to go offline. So the demonstrative speeches were all given in a face-to-face circumstance. It was a Monday night course, and then starting with the summer, living with an anxiety disorder is informative. How to prepare for international travel, which is a demonstrative speech from fall of 2020. From the intercession, how to make an egg custard pie. Teaching your dog a new trick from spring of 2021. From the first summer session of 2021, we had home interior decor. And those are just some of the many different examples of videos that, similar to you, are going to be prepared. So let me show you, first of all, a demonstrative speech. And let's go back up to the first summer session of 2020. When you click on this, notice what happens. It opens in the same window, and I will make this full screen in just a moment. But let's take a look before we play it as to how the speech is set up. We'll be talking about this later. Angelina and many students, as you know from the syllabus, the videos are going to be sent to my Yahoo email address, but she prepared hers on something called Loom. You put together all of your slides, then take your webcam, place it on the screen, and present your speech. What you're going to see from Angelina is an 8-minute plus speech on living with an anxiety disorder. This is actually an informative speech. We'll do it backwards. We'll play informative first and then go back to demonstrative.
My name is Angelina Roberts Hartsfield. Today I will be doing my informative topic over living with an anxiety disorder. I decided to do this topic with everything that's been going on this year in 2020, from the classes of 2020 not being able to have a real graduation, to the quarantine from COVID-19, and even the racism that struck America. We all may have felt some type of worry or angst against the future. And I just wanted to do this presentation in order to help people who feel this way to know that it's okay to have some kind of worry, that you're not alone. And there are ways that you can and things you can do to actually help yourself in this time of need. What is anxiety? Anxiety is a mental disorder characterized by the feeling of worry, anxiety, or fear that is strong enough to interfere with one's daily activities. Symptoms include stress that is out of proportion to the events, the inability to set aside worry, and restlessness. From the two pictures above and below, you see examples of anxiety and worry and what it really kind of symbolizes and how it makes one look and feel. Examples of an anxiety disorder can vary from panic attacks to OCD or obsessive compulsive disorder and PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder. The three pictures at the bottom each symbolize panic attacks, obsessive OCD, and PTSD. The first one symbolizes panic attacks, a sense of dread, choking, rapid heartbeat, wobbly legs. These are all symptoms of someone who is having a panic attack. The middle picture shows the warning signs of OCD: depression, compulsive behavior, intrusive thoughts, seeking reassurance, and becoming isolated. These are all warning signs that you or somebody you may know is coming down with OCD. And lastly but not least, there's a picture of two brothers. One is a soldier who just came home from war, and the other one has been just a brother who stayed in America. And he says, "Great to have you home, bro. I'm not a scratch on you." And as you can see from the picture, the soldier is having a grenade on his head, which kind of symbolizes him being a ticking time bomb. I want to take time to kind of talk about this picture because it brings up a big topic that just because you don't see somebody going through a mental illness physically doesn't mean that it isn't affecting that person or it shouldn't be taken seriously. A lot of people with PTSD go through a lot. With any kind of mental disorder, people go through a lot, and it takes a toll on that person. And so you should treat every mental disorder as it is an actual disease, or if it's something that's physically ailing them. Because at the end of the day, just because we don't see it doesn't mean that it isn't affecting anybody or it isn't hurting the person. What is it like having an anxiety disorder? For people, just like any ailment, it varies from person to person, and each testimony is differently. For me, having anxiety is like when I worry so much, like with doing this presentation. I had so much anxiety. I've recorded multiple times doing this, and I was just worried about how the professor would grade me on this and how I would actually do. I take my grades very seriously, and for me, grades is something that gives me very big anxiety. One time I had a whole breakdown in class because I got a B. Like, that's how hard I take my grades seriously. So for me, that's what anxiety is like. For other people, it may be different. It may be you worrying about getting a scholarship for college or a track accepting offer or something like that. Each person is different, but all in all, the essence of it, the feeling is the same. a feeling of confusion and chaos, which is what the bottom left-hand picture shows. The lady who's holding her head. You see a cloud of confusion. The other side shows risk factors for SAD, or social anxiety disorder, which is very common. Things from early traumatic events to parenting style and even an isolated upbringing. These things can all contribute to you having SAD, or social anxiety disorder. In essence, having an anxiety increases your breathing and heart rate, and it causes concentrating blood flow to your brain, which is where you need it. So for many people, like any disorder, again, it's different for each person. Each testimony varies, and essentially the feeling is the same. How to deal with anxiety. These are 3 different ways that someone that you or somebody that you may know who has anxiety can deal with their anxiety disorder. The first one is therapy. These are 3 types of therapies that can be used: cognitive behavior therapy, meditation, and psychotherapy. The second one I want to really emphasize on because it's something that anyone, anywhere can do. And whether you have anxiety or not, or if you're a perfectly healthy person, these are good things you can do day to day to kind of help yourself improve your mental health and your physical health. Self-care, avoiding alcohol, reduce caffeine intake, physical exercise, even a healthy diet. These are things that everyone should do to help take care of their bodies, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And last but not least, medication. I want to emphasize that street drugs and self-medication is not something that I would recommend. All these medications are usually prescribed by your primary care physician or someone who is licensed to prescribe these medications. SSRIs, antidepressants, sedatives. These are all different types of medication that someone can take or be asked to be prescribed on in order to help deal with their anxiety. How to help anyone with anxiety. First aid. This slide is for the people who say if you do not have anxiety or you don't have an anxiety disorder, but you know someone who is and they have a moment, that these are things that you can do to actually help that person get through that and kind of help them out. Most anxiety attacks will result in the person hyperventilating. This is when somebody is taking in very deep breaths but really quickly. To help the situation, you can first start by reassuring the person. Do not assume that you automatically know what's wrong with the person or what caused this person to feel this way. Just the best thing you can do is just try to help them calm down and get their calming and just reassure them that everything's going to be okay. The second thing you can do is to help get their breathing rate down. Do this by helping them breathe in slowly. Inhale through the nose, holding for several seconds, and then exhaling slowly. Do not breathe through a paper bag. Oh, we see this in movies and sometimes think it's a good idea. It's actually highly not recommended. Extra information. These are statistics that I saw when I was researching that I thought would actually be great to talk about because it shows that a lot of people actually do have an anxiety disorder. Anxiety actually affects over 40 million adults in the United States, ages 18 and up, or 18.1% of the population every year. And then though so many people go through anxiety disorder, only 10% actually receives the help that they need. 30% has anxiety of unwell issues. And then the other 30 do not have anxiety or doesn't get help for it because they don't have it. But it mostly affects ages 18 and older, though it can start from any age, to be honest. Anxiety disorders are highly treatable, yet only 36.9% of those suffering receive treatment. People with anxiety disorders are 3 to 5 times more likely to go to the doctor and 6 times more likely to be hospitalized for psychiatric disorders than those who do not suffer from anxiety disorders. Anxiety disorders develop from a complex set of risk factors, including genetics, brain chemistry, personality, and life events. So it can, like I said, each disorder affects people differently, and no 2 people are the same. It could be in your genetics, the reason why you have anxiety disorder, or something that you dealt with when you were younger, or something that happened to you in your life, or even just your brain chemistry. Anxiety and depression is something that's serious and should not be taken very lightly. It doesn't mean that you're an outcast or that you're weird or you're different. You're just human, and it's okay to feel this way. But it's also good to get help that you need. Do not try to hide it or feel ashamed because you're going through this. Everyone has some type of fear and has some type of worry at least once in their life. And if they don't, they're lying. So it's okay to feel this way, but it's also better for you to try to get help. Talk to somebody, so a friend, a counselor, a therapist, your doctor, most importantly, so you can get the help that you need and you can feel better. This now concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time.
I wanted to pause it before she ended for this reason. I juxtaposed the order and played the informative speech before the demonstrative speech, but both of them have the same element behind it in terms of utilizing a social media platform called Loom, which is taking, as you're well aware, something that you're going to be putting together for your slides, whether it be on Microsoft PowerPoint or Google Slides or Canva, utilizing your webcam, putting it in any area of the screen, and delivering the speech in real time. Some people may not necessarily do it this way. Let's slowly go back. I do this with many of the speeches that you give me. And just notice in real time her eye contact, her ability to be conversational, that symbiotic relationship, as I indicated previously, on making certain that whatever she has for her text or for her graphics are enabling her ability to be conversational and extemporaneous. She also has a link which is provided via YouTube that she's playing within the context of her speech. And eventually that gets us back to the title slide. So playing to the camera is an essential part of this. I will show you an example of a demonstrative speech before we adjourn the proceedings for today. But a reminder from the syllabus that the 4 major graded presentations are going to be submitted by Loom, Loom, as you just saw, or you might do it differently on YouTube. We'll be talking about that all during the next week, in addition to playing a lot of different examples of demonstrative speeches. Let me show all of you, for the record, a link to the Loom website, because some of you will be using this and some of you are going to be getting accounts there. This is the website for Loom. As you scroll through it, you'll notice that the nice part about this platform is that you can communicate, as the young lady is here, professionally on slides. For a public speaking course, I think this type of application is gold. Now, there are others in the marketplace, but for my benefit, if I were a student in this class, I would seriously consider using Loom. You can usually get a 30-day free subscription with unlimited time to record, which is perfect for a course like this. After that 30 days, the time for your presentations goes down to exactly 5 minutes. But I wanted everyone to see what it potentially looks like for the record. And show all of you the website, because you may want to experiment with this. And just keep going down. Not everything you do will look like this. It'll primarily look like the 2 speeches that we'll be showing you, with the second one coming up. Loom works wherever you do. During the pandemic, it was a lifesaver for anyone like myself who had not taught online before. So it really came into play. That brings us to the second and final graded speech that I'm going to show you during the first class session. The final 2 speeches in this course, which are persuasive and wildcard, I'll show you examples of tomorrow. So I showed you the informative speech first, living with an anxiety disorder. It was exactly 1 year ago, but that's the second speech you're going to be examining, serving primarily as a teacher or lecturer. The first presentation, demonstrative, is a how-to speech. It can literally be on anything. That how-to speech could also be on cooking or a recipe. And that's what we're going to be looking at right now. This is a demonstrative speech from the fall intersession of 2020 during the month of December. And this is from, as you can see, Beth. I thought Angelina, by the way, did a really nice job talking about living with an anxiety disorder for her informative speech, primarily because she did something that gave her a great bit of authenticity as a speaker. She's talking about it from a personal perspective, in addition to the research that she is providing on the subject. But this is what you're going to be doing next week. Some type of demonstrative speech, a process. It does not have to be a recipe. A lot of videos we're going to be seeing over the next week do not deal with recipes. But it is helpful for a first major graded presentation because you're starting with a process at part A and then going all the way to the end. The difference that you're going to see here with Beth, and again, this is from, as you can see, my YouTube channel, and it was recorded on Loom. Her visual will pop up in just a moment. The one thing I have added here is to put on closed captioning. How well can you speak in a graded presentation from the standpoint of a complete sentence structure? This is Beth's demonstrative speech, how to bake an egg custard pie. Here we go.
Hi everyone, my name is Beth Hervey. I am a history education major. This is my second year at SAU. Very excited to be taking this year's fall intersession course. There's definitely a lot that you can learn from projecting yourself within public speaking, and I am very excited for this course. Today for my demonstrative speech, I'm going to talk about how to bake a custard egg pie. This pie, called the egg custard pie, has been a staple within my family for many, many years. It is often not the most popular. There's not too many people that I've met throughout my time within college and within high school that have had an egg custard pie or even made one. So whenever I show up with it to events and Friendsgiving and things, people are always very shocked and very pleasantly surprised by it. It's been a staple, like I said, within my family, always growing up. And I actually remember it as one of the very first things that I ever learned to bake and ever worked up the courage to be around an oven for, because I had a horrible fear about ovens whenever I was little. So of course, because I'm a history major, I had to add in the history of the egg custard pie, just a little bit. I'm not going to go too overboard. But the Romans were actually the first group known to start an understanding of the egg as a use of a solidifying agent and a binding agent. So very revolutionary, something other than flour that was used to thicken things and make it light and fluffy and just delicious. Custards were used to fill pastries and tarts, which were smaller, and then they grew into larger fillings for pies. Within Europe and Asia, there have been recipes such as the egg custard pie dating back to the Middle Ages. So this has been around for a while, and obviously it's good, or else it wouldn't be around for so long. Thus leading us to the delicious egg custard pie that we have today. So this is titled The Ease Within the Beginning because there's so little ingredients within an egg custard pie. It makes it very easy, and there's not much baking time. Overall, it's very simple compared to many pies such as the chocolate pie or the meringue pie. Very delicious, but often they take a lot of time and a lot of different ingredients. And one thing wrong can mess up the whole thing. Whereas an egg custard pie is much easier. It's much more simple and very good for beginner bakers. So, the recipe. This recipe that I have here on the right is actually, I had my mother send it to me from back home. Obviously, you can see that it's been used a lot. There's a lot of stains, a lot of junk on it, because we've been using it for many, many generations. And so the one that we're going to be using today is egg custard pie bottom. You see it has not very many ingredients, and the directions aren't that long. So yet again, another example of how simple an egg custard pie is to make. So going on to the ingredients that we were saying, there's 5 main ingredients that are necessary. You have milk, eggs, sugar, nutmeg, and a pie crust. You can add vanilla extract. My family's never been super huge into it. It's never been something that was exactly required like we had to have it, but some people really like it. Sometimes it gives it a really good flavor to add to it. Either way, that is optional. Going on to step 1, the easiest way to start out with any sort of baking is to set out all of your ingredients to begin with. For one, this lets you know that if you're missing something, you need to go and get it beforehand, or maybe you shouldn't even start at all because you can get it the next time you go to the store. It also makes sure that you're not scrambling around during the baking process, because sometimes you can get a little bit hectic, you might break things. So when you have everything perfectly lined out, it really makes things just easier for you overall and makes the process much quicker. And overall, setting everything else just gives you a really nice sense of preparation, which I feel like everyone needs and wants in their life. So, moving on to step 2. If you're using a store-bought pie crust, which is what most people do, it's a lot cheaper, and not necessarily cheaper, but it's a lot faster a lot of times. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to need to set it at a room temperature. When pie crusts sit in the fridge or come straight from the store, they're a lot of times hard. They're really hard to manipulate. And whenever they go in like that, a lot of times you're having to rip them to even get them to lay flat in the pan. And it also just doesn't give you quite as good of a flaky and buttery flavor unless you let it sit out. So once the crust is at room temperature, place it in the pie dish, pat it down nice and good. Note that a deep dish pan, in my opinion, is much better for a egg custard pie, because this is going to be a very liquidy mixture until it gets in the oven and it actually solidifies from the eggs. So with that, if you have it in a very thin pan, it's much easier to slosh around versus a deep dish pan. It's much easier to handle. So then what we're going to do with the crust is we are going to take our pointer finger and our thumb finger, put them about an inch apart on our right hand or left hand. It depends on if you're right or left-handed. And then you're going to take your thumb from your other hand and you're going to push them together like this and make V shapes. You can see a good example over here on the right. It's very common, probably the most simple and the most common. And just really keeps, especially for egg custard, it keeps everything in. If you do slosh, you're much more likely to keep it in because you have all those sides are out. I always say that it looks like a sunflower. It's just very pretty, very easy. So going on to step 2, you're going to need to take 3 eggs, whisk them together until foamy. It's always good to whisk your eggs in its own separate thing. For us, we have our own chickens, so you really need to check the eggs before you start putting them into other things. So you put them in a little thing, whisk them together until they're foamy, as the recipe says. And then you're going to need to add 3/4 a cup of sugar, which honestly is not that much sugar compared to a lot of other pies. And whisk until that's mixed. Doesn't take much time at all. This would also be the time to add some vanilla extract if you want. It's all completely up to you. After that, you need to add 2 cups of milk and then stir it all together. You would pour that into your pie crust in the pan that we made earlier, and then sprinkle it with nutmeg. And compared to other pies, that is very, very simple. And so, going on to step 4, you're going to need to preheat your oven to 425 beforehand, which is a pretty high temperature. So I would recommend getting a pie crust covering, which you can see in the top right corner, to help protect the outer crust in this high temperature. And you're just going to need to put it in there for 25 minutes, which is honestly pretty short for a pie. Sometimes things such as pumpkin pie take well over an hour. So 25 minutes, pull it out, let it cool, and it is ready to serve. So, in conclusion, I hope that this encourages you to make an egg custard pie the next time you're needing any sort of something sweet or any sort of dessert to bring somewhere. It's very simple. You see, 25 minutes, perfect amount of time for you to get ready while it's in the oven. And it's just an overall delicious dish. Even though some people are often skeptical, because egg custard sometimes doesn't sound the most appealing. It's very delicious, very not overbearing, and just a wonderful dessert. And it will definitely be a showstopper if you bring it somewhere. So I hope you enjoyed how to make an egg custard pie. I hope that you go out and make your own. And once again, my name is Beth Hervey, and have a great day.
What you saw with Beth's presentation that was demonstrative on making an egg custard pie, and what you saw from Angelina, the informative speech on living with an anxiety disorder, were both done in online classes. In the case of Beth, The fall intersession, as you can see at the top of the screen, had exactly as many class sessions as a summer class, 19. And in Angelina's case, the same thing, first summer session 2021. So these two ladies had as much time to prepare their graded presentations as you will have during the first summer session of 2022. Were they perfect? No. Were they A speeches? Yes. Tomorrow in session 2, I will talk more specifically about the process by which I determine grades, which is a maximum of 20 points for each of the 4 major graded speeches. Again, anything that you're looking at with these ladies, demonstrative or informative, with content, delivery, visuals, are always going to be works in progress, because even I, as a professor, will find an area that I can improve upon as the years go on. Students are going to be very much in that boat, which is why looking at your own video presentations over and over again, finding the dead spots, how you can be smooth, how you can remain conversational extemporaneous, depending upon the way in which you put your graphics together, is vital. Notice that Beth does have a few gonas during her speech, as what we did with Angelina, slowly going from back to front. Very well done in terms of a structure, because it is going to keep her on track. And if very closely, directly underneath the red line, you'll see in Loom that there is a time element in play here. So you can put the time on the screen so you don't have to look away to figure out. There you can see it more clearly underneath the closed captioning. It is helpful to find out whether or not, for the most part, you are speaking in complete sentences or have any issues that we'll talk about later on this week. Gonna, wanna, kinda, y'all, you know, I mean, which I call vocalics. Technically, vocalized pauses in everyday conversation, but that will come. What you notice from Beth, as what you noticed from Angelina, is there is a likability, a knowledgeability, an authenticity to the way they're putting their material together, and something that is specifically listed on the checklist. Are you a poised public speaker? Let's mute the audio and just check out Beth trying to establish as much eye contact as possible. The likability comes out. She comes across, as does Angelina, as being an authoritative speaker, someone who knows what she is talking about. Pause and continue to go back to the beginning. And I do this a lot. Let's make sure that she's establishing eye contact, and then pause. And I'll take off the closed captioning so you can see her right at the beginning of her speech. If I'm doing my presentations on Loom, guys, realistically, I'm probably taking my webcam feed and putting it in the upper right-hand corner. Your mileage may vary, whatever works best for you. But that's a video of the demonstrative speech. Now let's go back to a still of Angelina from the informative speech, which is the second of the 4. This is what it looks like in real time with closed captioning on and the audio muted. That's what it looks like in real time whenever I'm watching her. It's probably the media person in me blending with the speech person in me as well. Watching yourself over and over again may seem tedious, but in terms of the overall professionalism and smoothness, it's something that really does matter. You may watch a speech like this that hasn't been sent to me yet and think, I want to juxtapose the order of some of my graphics because it's going to keep me speaking at a relatively equal level during the presentation for whatever topic I'm looking at, whether it's demonstrative 1, informative 2, persuasive 3, or wildcard 4. And now we come back to me. I told you previously that at Blackboard, there is a link on the syllabus to my Yahoo email address. Most of the communication that you're going to be giving me during the term is going to go to my Yahoo email address. Let me show you what that looks like. By the way, for those of you who haven't taken a class from me before, I do these courses online exactly the same way that I do in the classroom, making them interactive, putting a lot of material up on the screen. So I view these not teaching a class with PowerPoint slides, but teaching a class as a television program, which is why we have so much interactivity. This is a link to my Yahoo email address. This is profjamesreppertsau@yahoo.com. I believe in transparency. I believe in content. And as you can see, there is a lot of documentation here from Speech 1113. These are all of the courses that I teach in the mass communication curriculum, including the basic public speaking course and the advanced public speaking course. So everything that you send me is going to be right here. Occasionally, people will send something to my Yahoo email address or send it to my SAU address instead. So if you see anything in here that has my name, it's because somebody sent a project to my Yahoo email address and I forwarded it over here. But some of the folks that you will see during the term are right here. And if I scroll down far enough, you're going to find people either from the fall intersession or from the summer of last year. But it's just really vital that you send everything to me for those videos because they will be played in class. The last thing that I want to do today is to return to Blackboard. I don't want there to be any misunderstanding or confusion for any of you on how to access material or videos. So let's go to Blackboard one more time in the student preview mode. When you're at the course, this is how you see it. Let me go out of the preview. This is how I see it as a professor. But I want everyone to know that I access material or want you to show the student preview exactly the way that it is going to show up on your screens for those of you who are in the class. There's the message, which I will refresh every day, so it's always in blue or it disappears. It is not a requirement to attend live, and how you view recorded archives of the course. So reminder, let's go there first. Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, the parallel lines, with all due respect to Robin Thicke. Recordings. In real time right now, it is 1:20. Realistically, by no later than 3 o'clock, a video of today's class session will be available right here. At Tools, at Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, under Recordings. Those are the sessions. So tomorrow I will be right back here at noon. Same thing on Thursday. So right now I've got Tuesday, which is today, Wednesday and Thursday of this week, and then next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which is June 3rd of next week. Please make certain that you're watching all of the videos because that is going to be obviously a part of your grade. This is where you can check on your grades. They will not be posted until probably the weekend after each graded presentation. You'll notice that demonstrative, informative, persuasive, wild card are all there worth 20 points. And then the self-evaluation, speech critique, and class participation are worth 10. So you'll be able to check in real time where you are during the course. and then back to instructor information, a link to the SAU Mass Communication website, which I showed you before, and my mega-sized business card. But realistically, the best way to contact me is through my Yahoo email address. And then at course syllabus, one more time, let's go to page 4 of the syllabus. A link to my website, a link to my Twitter, and Prof. James Reppert at SAU.com. I'll go to Twitter in just a moment. You don't need to follow me on Twitter, but I'll put material on my social media platform there in case anybody wants to see access to information. But Blackboard is usually really all you need for a summer course. But there's a link to Prof. James Reppert, SAU at yahoo.com, electronic submission of assignments, highlighted. Ideally, there's going to be no confusion about anything. All of the assignments that are going to be performed. Back to syllabus for the course itinerary, and I'll leave it right here because tomorrow is course requirements part 2, effective content delivery and visuals on Thursday, which is going to be a long, detailed, specific look at the elements in the checklist. Intentionally, there are 7 areas for content, 7 for delivery, and 7 for visuals. If you can master all of those for a maximum of 20 points for each of the 4 major graded presentations, you'll be fine. But that is what we're going to be looking at on Thursday. Effective content, delivery, and visuals with the SAU speech evaluation form and video examples of each. So back to the course syllabus, and just reminding all of you that the official syllabus, the course itinerary, the checklist, and where you enter the class is available right here. Let's do one more bit of interactivity before we conclude the proceedings for the day. Let me show all of you what my Twitter feed looks like. You don't have to follow me on Twitter, but I'm available on most social platforms. This is my Twitter feed. And there you can see information that involves me. Social media are used as teaching and research tools across the curriculum. And by the way, guys, that does include the basic and advanced public speaking courses. But you'll notice what I have here. Here's the tweet that I sent out last night, which is the syllabus for this course. If you want to follow me on Twitter during the summer, you can. It's not a requirement, but it's something that you may want to look at because under the hashtag of this course, and you go to latest, you'll see some of the things that I've been doing in this class. Recording screenshot from last summer, from 2021. Notice what I did on Blackboard. I categorized all the videos and the times. Most instances will be over 1 hour. Let me go back to roughly about a year ago at this time to see what I was sending out on social media. May 27th of 2021. As you can see, course requirements, part 1, there's the video. Course requirements, part 2, which is tomorrow, and then session 3 on Thursday, effective content, delivery, and visuals. I want to make everything as user-friendly for you as possible to access information. So that's an edited screenshot that I put on my social media so everyone would know the courses and what were available. Now let's go back to profile, and you can see, again, everything is set up on Twitter. So as we conclude the festivities for the first day of the summer session, it's important for all of you to understand watching the videos and sending me videos of your presentations is key to your success. How can you utilize an online course to maximize your abilities as a speaker? No matter what your field is, being an effective communicator, knowing how to work the camera in an ethical fashion, giving the at least illusion of knowing what you're talking about with that content, with that delivery, with the organizational structure, all of that is going to matter as you traverse on past the 19 class sessions here for the basic public speaking course, but whatever you're going to do in your life. And that's what I want to focus on over the next 18 class sessions, how we can maximize that improvement. So the first week or so, you're just going to take the information that I provide and work that into demonstrative, then informative, then persuasive, then wildcard content. So tomorrow I will go through the syllabus and examine persuasive speaking, which is the third of the fourth speech that you present in this class. Also the wild card, which can be anything that you want. I will enjoy working with you over the next month. And I think it's really important that you watch the videos, take a look at what everyone has done, and most importantly, from a constructive, positive, not negative manner. With the glass half full, even though it's not. That's my attitude coming into this class, with the glass being half full. Some of you are going to be naturally nervous coming into a class like this. Well, I will try to allay those fears. I grade my classes and teach them from the standpoint of positive, constructive criticism. This is not easy, but the terms that you're going to learn from this course, the measurable skills that you're going to take from this course are going to be vital whenever you are communicating in any circumstance during your collegiate or professional careers. We will continue tomorrow with part 2 of course requirements with additional videos. Please make certain that you're watching all of these in real time on Blackboard. I strongly encourage you to watch them from beginning to end because you're going to be featured. All of the graded presentations that you give, whether they be on Loom or whether they be on YouTube, are going to be played during class. So what you send to my Yahoo email address should ideally be the best representation that you can produce for that graded speech. Working on a regular basis is very helpful. We will resume with class session 219 tomorrow. Good luck as we continue on during the term. As for SPCH 1113, Introduction to Public Speaking during the first summer session of 2022, that concludes the recording session for today.